Hello class, receiving teachers and students. I think you may be seated. On the strand living things, substrand ecology, relationship and interaction. We are on the outcome 7.2.2. Interacting and discuss relationships that exist in the community using a food web to show human activity in that community. All right, before we go into our new lesson, can you remember your last lesson? What was our last lesson on? Good, we have our first hand up.
Web of life.
Web of life. Could you explain further on what web of life mean? What did you do? What did you do in your lesson web of life? Bagley? Bagley?
Energy passing from other animal to another.
Would you like to explain further how energy passes from one animal to another animal? How do we pass energy? We take some energy. Here, Bagley, pass some energy to your friend. Okay? Your friend gets some energy. Get some energy too. Or what do we do? How do animals pass on energy? Okay, Bagley again. Thank you. He wants to explain more of his answer. So in students, how do animals pass on energy?
A animal eaten by animal or insect.
Okay. Right, thank you for your answer. When an animal consumes another animal or consumes plants, it takes in energy. And so when another animal eats another, it also consumes that energy. So likewise, did you take in some energy today for your breakfast? Yes, we did. Good. I hope you took in some energy for your lessons today. All right, our topic for today is looking at communities. The first lesson, looking at communities. All right, receiving teachers and students. In this lesson today, the model class will be going out to do their little activity outside. You may wish to observe the class, the model class, or you may switch off your TV and do the activity outside with your own class. All right, before we do that, we'll go into some examples. There are some pictures that I would like to show you. And when I show you these pictures, I think you will know what they are. And think about what you will find in those pictures. What kind of environment, what kind of place does the picture show you? And what kind of plants or animals you will find in there. Got it? All right. Our first picture. Some of you are saying, yes? You can make a list of what you think will be found in there. Just 2 minutes. The type of plant, type of animals, just jot it down. Our next picture. What do you think you will find in there? What kind of plants or animals? Our next third picture. Now you guess what kind of plant is that and where would you find that type of plant? The fourth picture. What do you think it is? Yes, it's a log that has been chopped down. What would you find around that log? You can see dry leaves or dead leaves, logs with fungi or algae growing on it. The next picture. Very common in our place, Papua New Guinea, even beside your house. Bananas, we have a lot of bananas. Banana garden. What do you think will you find in the banana garden? I hope you are listing down some one or two things that you will find. Finally, our number 6th picture. It's a creek. Picture of a creek. All right. Now we've looked at some of the pictures. Let's have a look at some answers that you have found in the pictures. What do you think you will find in the creek picture? Sorry. Stones. Is it living or non-living? Non-living. Good. What else will you find? Can I have someone? Yes. Shannon, what kind of grass? There are plenty of grass. So if you know one type of grass that grows beside the creek. You can call the English name, or if you know
Kunai grass.
Okay, kunai grass. Any others? All right, let's try the next picture. Banana garden. We all have banana gardens back at home. What do you think you will find in a banana garden? Samuel. Or animals?
Snake. Snake.
Yes, you may find snake. Any specific snake that you would like, that you may know of, that might be found in a banana garden?
Papuan black.
Papuan black. Very poisonous snake along the southern region of Papua New Guinea. All right. So that is what you're going to do for your activity today. So receiving students and teachers, you may observe the model class Or you may go out and do the same activity with your class teacher in your selected sites around your school grounds. Right now, the model class will do that. But before you go, these are the questions that you will look at. This is what you will do. 1, when you go out, you must observe and list the kind of living things that you find in the area that you are chosen to look at. Secondly, number the plants and animals you do not know. Now, if you find in an area, in a selected area, you may find many different types of plants or animals. Some of them you may know their names, some you may not know their names. So if there are three animals, let's say we have an animal 1, example, this is not what it looks like, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, if there are 3 different animals and you don't know their names, so you write animal 1. And someone who can draw quickly, or not quickly, but carefully draw what the animal looks like. Animal or bug or insect that is in that area. If the second one, you don't know its name, you write animal 2 and you draw. But if you know the local name, if you know the name in Pidgin or in your language, you can write it down. But for model class, we all speak different languages, so be careful. And the third one, so you write you number the animals that way, the same as plants. All clear? Okay, good. Third thing you will do is you record the population. So in your given area, you count how many of animal A you find in that place. If you see 1, if you see 2, if there are many, you just write many, because you cannot count. If you can count, you count. But if you cannot count, you write many. The fourth one, you also write down the name of those living things that are associated with the living things. Meaning if you find that these living things live around stones, dead leaves, you can list those names of the living things. Any questions before we go? Okay. No questions? We may move. Group 1 and 2, you will combine. We will be working in 2 groups. In 6 groups. So we'll be combining groups. Group 1 and 2, you may combine with these 2 groups. Your area is along the side of the drain. So we'll be using drain. You may leave group 2. The 2 groups, you will look at the lawn in front of our studio. Let me go. Next group, group 3, there's an uprooted log, a tree, which has been chopped, but the trunk, the stump has been uprooted. So it is beside the classroom. You will have a look at that. Leave. Group 3, go. Group 4. You know where your incinerator is? the small incinerator and drain there. You'll be looking at that area. And last group, the flower garden. Yes? So, this is a drain area. What do you find here? Huh? Grass, stones. Come here, come here, come here. Here, here, here. And be careful. What kind of grass are you looking at? How many different plants? We're looking at all the living things. This is a drain. So what do we find there? You see stones. What else do you see that is within the drain? You see dead leaves. Dead grass, dead leaves, dead plants. What else do you see? Now what kind of ants? Red ants and black ants. You see, you have grass here, you have one plant here, and then there's yes, that's another one. See? So there are 3 different types of plants. One grass, one crawling plant, and 4 here, there's another one. So along the drain and beside the drain there are many different living things. And what are the non-living things that you find that living things live among them? Stone. Right, stone. You see, there's an ant on the stone there. What is it doing? Sitting, helping, maybe looking for a way to get across the drain. What else? You have cement that has been made for the water to run through. Okay.
We are group 2, and they send us out here to observe the grassland community, what's living in and around the grassland community. Two of them. Well, so male and female.
This is our group, and it's group 3, and we're out here to observe the dead log, and the things that we discovered was lizard, ants, spiders, and the things, some of them we don't know. There's some beetles, the grass, and it's so many here, and it's too many. And the non-living things we wrote down was stone, dead log, and ground.
Okay, we are going to finish our lesson outside. The last thing that you have done is collected all the information, your raw material, data about plants and animals that you find in an area. There are three things that I would like you to find out. One, what is a community? Now we are talking about science. So when we say community, what does it mean in science? Okay, good. Some are whispering. Keep it for your homework. We'll see in our next lesson. Second one is habitat. Second one is habitat. So what is an habitat? Those are the two things that you would, two terms or two words that you would define. Lastly, when you go with your information that you have collected in your groups, you will, in your groups, put that information in a table. Table designed by your own groups. Information like what kind of living things did you find? How many did you find? Types of living things. Why were they living there? Some of you said you found a bee under some grass. Why do you think the bee was under that grass? Some of you said that you saw ants, and there were 3 different ants. So why were those 3 different ants there? So put that information in a table. If you're not sure, you can ask your other friends, or you can ask your other teachers, or ask me. Now, receiving students, you may also ask your teachers to help you draw up your result table. All right. Any questions? Good. But if you have any questions later, please ask. Before we go, what you will do for your homework will be looked at in our next lesson. Before we end, can someone give us the key phrase for today? What's our key phrase for today?
Communities.
Communities, good. Our key phrase is looking at communities. We will look at our next lesson tomorrow, which will be again looking at communities, lesson 2, which will be our next lesson. Right, the materials you will be required to bring is your completed homework and a chart. With that, thank you class, receiving teachers and students.